Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trenton 365 Show. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. Thank you for following over the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please remember, always, if you have a comment, a question, or a concern, just send me a message. In some way or another, I will get back in touch with you. Lots of wonderful things happening, even though we are in this crazy year of 2020, but we're all looking forward to a wonderful 2021. And on the other side, I'm about to bring on is one of my awesome friends. Now, we've got Jodi O'Donnell-Ames, and many of you will know her from Hope Loves Company, the nonprofit organization that deals with ALS and family members who have ALS, but she is also an inspirational speaker doing some amazing things. We're not even going to touch on the yoga or the massage therapy work, any of those things. She is indeed a serial entrepreneur, great energy, and one of the organizations that I love to support. So without any further waiting, let's give a very warm virtual welcome to Jodi O'Donnell-Ames. Hey, Jodi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you, and you're making me blush with those that welcome. But it's great to see you, and you, my friend, are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. And I do want to publicly again tell the story of how we met. We were at a restaurant for a networking event. And as you go around the room and you share a little bit about yourself, after we all shared, we broke into a little smaller conversational groups, and Jodi made a beeline to me, and her and I connected at that moment. And we've been pretty much attached at the hip, meaning constant support of each other's efforts in the organizations that we're a part of, as well as in the community. And there's just this natural, true appreciation for everything that we do mutually. So thank you so much, Jodi.
Well, I thank you, and I recognized that honestly at that moment that you were this person of authenticity and compassion and movement, and that you were a game changer. And I just wanted to meet this wonderful man. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Now, I want to get right into talking a bit about Hope Loves Company, because I mean, many of us have heard of ALS, or it's considered Lou Gehrig's disease. And me being a baseball fan, of course, I was taught about that story and so forth. But you've really opened my eyes to ALS and to the families, and to the families that are here after their loved ones who have ALS have gone on to another plane. So, can you just talk a little bit about the disease, your familial connection, your new family connection, so to speak, and then we'll progress from there.
Yes, thank you. So ALS is a terminal illness. It's a considered a rare disease. It affects 30,000 Americans and people worldwide. There is no known cause or cure for ALS at this time. And I learned about it at the age of 28 when my husband, Kevin O'Donnell, started exhibiting symptoms, and he was 29 years old. He was eventually diagnosed with ALS at the age of 30. And, we really did not know a lot about it. And we soon learned that people living with ALS lose the ability to walk, talk, eat, and breathe independently. And within 2 to 5 years, that disease progresses very quickly. And the entire family is kind of turned upside down. Everyone needs to pitch in and help. And thanks to you, we have had young adults who are caregivers on your show, and to share that experience. So thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you, Jodi, for saying that. I'm getting a little choked up, but I'm going to make sure that we move along with that wonderful energy that you and I often get, that synergy when you and I are together. And so at a young age, basically of 28, you were introduced to this, this terrible, horrible disease that does this terminal illness disease, and you then progress and you move on. And then let's talk about Warren and how everything happened with that.
Yeah, so actually we just had an anniversary yesterday. So Kevin passed away in 2001, and I met my current husband, Warren Benton Ames, and his 2 children soon after. And a few years later, we married and we became a family. So my husband, Warren Benton Ames, lost his wife, Tina Singer Ames, to ALS in 2000. And we just celebrated our wedding anniversary yesterday, and our 3 children were our bridal party. And it was so nice that one of the 3, our son, always remembers that date and always says happy anniversary to us, which is so special that makes a big difference in his life. So it's heartwarming. So we created hope as a family after such enormous loss.
And I think that's a perfect segue into the nonprofit organization Hope Loves Company, and the website is hopelovescompany.org. So as a perfect segue into Hope Loves Company, this nonprofit organization that you founded, can you talk about the reasons behind why you started it?
Absolutely. I was, my husband and I were raising 3 children who all lost a parent to ALS before the age 11. That's just life altering. And as a former teacher, while doing so, I just started taking notes of how they could have been supported, what would have been wonderful to have available to them, put it into writing. And in 2007, just started implementing and reaching out to complete strangers who I recognized on social media, quite honestly. It's kind of a stalker. I noticed families who were living with ALS and just wanted to be a support to them. In the ALS community, the disease just makes such an impact on your life that when you lose someone, you feel as though pretty consistently that you just need to stay in that fight. You really need to take action. And my philosophy was, if I could do something incredible as a result of this horrible situation, then both Tina and Kevin's memories would stay alive, and we would make them proud. And that's what Hope Loves Company is all about: serving children caregivers and making a difference.
And the young adults that I have spent time with over the years are absolutely all amazing. And it's really nice to see them go from either high school or early college to graduating college, and seeing all the honors that they're getting bestowed upon them while they're in college and going beyond. I can't recall a few of the names, but the last 2 that you had on, I think she went to Penn State. Can you just share a little bit about her?
So Mackenzie, I'm so
yes.
glad you brought up Mackenzie. And
Yes.
and there was Michael as well.
Yes, Michael.
And Jaden. Okay. So Mackenzie just became our first ever camper 2 board member.
Wow, awesome.
And Michael is in my life. So these children are part of my life and will always be a part of my life. And Mackenzie had lost her mother to ALS, but when she first found out of her mom's diagnosis, she did her research on the internet, found Hope Loves Company, was elated to find this organization specifically with a mission to provide educational and emotional support to children caregivers who have a loved one with ALS. And we recently, just a few months ago, invited her to our board. She graduated from Penn.
Awesome.
She lives in Massachusetts, and I talk to her weekly. So yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the whole idea, to support children, and hopefully that they will also pay it forward when they are in a place that they're able to do so.
And I'm fortunate enough to see that as an example. That is fantastic. Please make sure that you let Mackenzie know that I'm thinking about her. And if we could reconnect again on social media in some time, I would love to have her come on and talk about her experience and what she's doing now, and how Trenton 365 can support her in her professional career as well. Jodi, before we transition from talking about Hope Loves Company, I do want you to talk about the camps and some of the accolades that your organization has received because of this camp that you're running annually.
Yeah, so the very first thing that we did was to have a family fun day, which in 2014, which morphed into a whole weekend, which is Camp HLC. And we now have Nicole Rosano and Kara Haggerty on our team. And we run 6 camps across the nation for families free of charge to come together to have that Camp HLC experience, which means s'mores and hiking and rock climbing, along with the opportunity to learn coping skills such as yoga and meditation, and to have music and art therapy as well. So this is a chance for our families to come together, have fun, share in this wonderful experience, but also get the time to share experiences and their concerns as well with a therapist. So it's been amazing. And this year we are so proud that COVID did not stop us. Nothing stops us at Hope Loves Company. And we quickly pivoted and we ran 6 virtual camps. And we had over 250 children, and they were from 25 states.
Wow.
So we were able to send a care package, a gigantic box, out to all of the campers with all of the supplies needed for Camp HLC, virtual Camp HLC. And so the children got this box in the mail, and then we had this interactive camp online. They were moving and grooving. They weren't just sitting still in front of a computer. They were up and active and making s'mores and doing art and doing yoga. And it was a complete success. So we're really proud of it.
That is awesome, Jodi. I really hope to, at some point in time, to be able to visit one of the camps and just see how this all works. And just from the people that I've met, the children who have been to the camp, there's just this joy and excitement, and their faces light up when they talk about it, and the lifelong friendships and things that they've developed through the camp. And I think that that's really the basis of building a better community for everyone, just loving each other where you are and for who you are, regardless of anything else. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you know that so well, and that's exactly what we're doing, is just we're spreading love and joy and support. That's really what this is all about.
Great. Now, Jodi, we've talked a little bit about, you being an author, and you're an organizer. You're extremely health conscious. You're someone who really recognizes that the body, the mind, and the spirit all has to work in collaboration. And you're teaching that to other people, which is amazing. You're now an inspirational speaker. Not that you weren't before, but now you're actually using that title. Talk about the transition and why you decided to do this.
Yeah, so, well, this month I have a big birthday. I'm turning 55, and on Christmas Day, actually. And my husband retired over a year ago, and I'm now a grandmother. So, my thought is, and as an entrepreneur, my thought always is, how can I make the biggest impact by using my skills to the best of my ability, right? Sitting in front of a computer and working on Canva is not my skill set, or database, or those things. Outreach and being a voice is that's my sweet spot. So if I could, step away as a staff member at HLC, because I have this amazing team now, that's what's supposed to happen, put this into motion, and then those who are more skilled can take over, and step away as a staff member and still be a voice as a board member, and go out and actually speak. I've been the speaker my entire life, never gotten paid to do it. So now I'm opening it up to making this a career. And every time I show up somewhere, every person in that audience will know about Hope Loves Company, because it's a part of who I am and part of my life. So it's to me, it's a great idea. It will also allow me to give me some more time to be with my 2 daughters. Our 2 daughters are getting married. I know we will be having more grandchildren. And so I will have that flexibility to spend more time with my family. It's been right here. I have the paperwork for HLC. 2007 is when this idea began. So we're in 2020. And anyone who knows me knows that I have worked really hard to get to this point. And I am so grateful that Kara Haggerty, our executive director, is who she is, because she has given me this opportunity. She is just caring, compassionate soul, and she is smart. She is a person of integrity, and she has this. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm always going to be supporting, but I think it just makes complete sense.
And Jodi, I think that that shows a bit more revealing about who you are as a person. Like you recognize where your strength is, where your power is, where your impact is. And besides that, I mean, you've handled it in a way, I think, I almost want to say judiciously. Like even when we talked before, when you spoke about it, it was like, well, this is what we're doing. And you explained it to me in a way of love and compassion, that nothing was changing except that you were pivoting, that you were going into a different direction because you could be more helpful then, and because you wanted to be more helpful and you had the players in place that could help you transition on. It just makes sense. And as an inspirational speaker, can you talk about, as my cat Tiger wants to say hi, can you say hi to Jodi real quick?
Oh, hi, sweetie.
You want to say hi? He
Hey,
likes to stretch. Okay, you got to get down, bud. We'll talk. Yeah, so as an inspirational speaker, can you talk about how it's important, even when we're the pinnacle or the lead person or the head of an organization, for us to recognize that we're not always going to be in that situation, or is that always the best situation for the organization?
Yeah, so one of the things that I have constantly done is looked at the big picture, right? Sometimes we have goals and we get tunnel vision and we are so stuck in that goal that we're really doing a disservice to ourselves. So when you look at who you are, the people that you are spending your time with, the people who you are working with, and you look at all of their different skills, you have to recognize that you may hire someone who comes in to do something administrative yet loves marketing, right? And that's where they excel in. So I think as an inspirational speaker, I think it's always important to do self-checks, check in with who you are, what your core values are, what brings you joy, and what makes you excited. And the same with your team, the people you're working with, because when people are happy doing what they love, they're going to be so much more productive. And I recognize that the thing that I started at the beginning with Hope Loves Company was the outreach. I made calls. I connected with people. I showed my love and support. That's what I love to do. So because of the progression of running a company, then I had to do contracts, and then I had to have meetings, and I had to do other things. That's not, business acumen is not my natural skill. Of course, I learned it and had to do it, but that might take me much longer than someone who is skilled in that area and can say, I got this. So I think it's always good to kind of do some self-check and also some reevaluation. And, why are you doing these things? I speak a lot to people who want to start nonprofits. And the first thing I say to them is, why do you want to start a nonprofit? Because if it's to keep someone's memory alive, there may be other ways to do that, or if it's to support a community, there may be other ways to do that. But if this nonprofit that you would like to create serves a need and a void that has not been filled, go for it, and let's do this. So it's just interesting, and I guess this all comes with age and wisdom. We learn as we get older, right?
That's right, more experience. And Jodi, I think that you touched on that, on something that is so important, and it's very revealing to who you are as a person, is that you want to be honest. I mean, it's easy to just pat someone on the back and say, yeah, keep going. But it's also a different type of person to say, wait a minute, have you really evaluated this? Is this really what you want? Is this really the best decision for you? Have you considered your other family members? Is your spouse on board? What about your children? All of those different things. And I love that you are that kind of a personality that can kind of look at someone in the eye and comfortably tell them in a very compassionate way, and to have them think. Just as you were making that statement, I was reevaluating myself, kind of as if you were talking to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm on the right path, Jodi. So can you just elaborate a bit more on that about like during the process of spending time with a speaker like yourself and a coach like yourself, that it may not always be, yeah, rah, 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 go get them, run through that brick wall.
It's so true. So, I think that we we are learned creatures. We have habits, we're conditioned, we have histories, and sometimes it takes someone else to bring out the knowledge that we already have within us that maybe we're frightened to say or admit. And to that point, I honestly started Hope Loves Company to help children. And I understand that my own children, right, who were teenagers when I was doing this and going off to college and were busy, are now coming into that age where they need me again. So that is evaluation, right? They need me to help with their children and wedding plans. And so it's coming full circle to say, okay, I've been able to put this into the world. I'm so grateful. My children love the fact that Hope Loves Company exists. They recognize that I've been so busy, and now it's time to call them up and say, you know what, I'm giving a speech this week, twice a week. I'm doing some, I have some clients, I'm doing coaching, but I have Friday off and Friday's free. I can come and go wedding dressing with you, wedding shopping or dress shopping with you, and have that flexibility. Or my husband, who is retired, if he says, I want to hop in the car and take a drive and go away for 3 days, I have that flexibility. I have my computer and I can connect with people. So, and I think that's another thing that Zoom and this time really has caused the ultimate reflection, because we can do anything through a computer nowadays. We can have a career and also some flexibility in our lives. So the power of really thinking about what you want in your life we only get one life, and if we're blessed, we can serve that life with purpose, and feel proud of how we served that life, and to think about how we can make our careers work with our goals and our characteristics, our skills, and our passions is very important. And I think what has happened in the last nearly year has given some pause to that, time for reflection, for that thought. How do we do this so that we're also providing some self-care and giving us the opportunity for our best lives.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier, I said that, I have my notes and everything that you had, must have been sneaking and looking at my notes, because you just did it again. Because I was gonna talk to you. And
we think alike.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I was gonna ask you, about this year, COVID, and the just COVID alone, and the health implications and the ramifications on people and on your clients. How are you expressing to them about, positive ways or ways, coping skills that they can have during this time?
Yeah, well, with in the ALS regard, it's affected families more than ever. So just doing outreach and connecting with others is key in this time of loneliness and separation. Personally, and with coaching clients and with that insight is just reevaluation again. What's most important? This chance of, many people would have been traveling so much and wouldn't even have time to consider what's most important. So for me, I've been able to engage again with morning prayer and meditation, and just having a little more time to my morning, because I'm not traveling, even though I'm traveling 10 minutes to work. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm not, getting dressed, or sometimes I'm just working in my pajamas, so it's less time. But really to think about what makes you who you are, and how to feel that, how to replenish. Everyone is different. For some people, it might be to work out an hour a day. I know for me personally, that was one of my, during camp season, I didn't have time to work out. And because we've been on Zoom, I've been able to work out every day, an hour a day, which to me is very key to my health and who I am. If I don't expend that energy, I can't sleep, like get in bed and I'm bouncing off the walls. So, just going back to who you are and what are the little things you can do, even during COVID, whether it's to take a walk with your spouse or make dinner together, have a Zoom call with your grandchildren, whatever it might be. But just to acknowledge that's something that's important and relevant to your life. And I'm just going to give a great example of my brother and his wife years and years and years ago. And I will remind him of this. When they were first married, before they had 4 kids, on their refrigerator, they had those magnetic strips. And they put all of the people who were paramount in their life on those magnetic strips. And what they did was they would put the first person on the top, they would make sure they either sent a card, made a call, or had them over for dinner. And then that person would go to the bottom, and they would make sure in that year that they connected on some way with that person or that family. And that's kind of what this has done, sending cards to people, reaching out, reconnecting, and recognizing and celebrating what's most important in life. What are our biggest values? That's key.
I think that's a perfect way to end. I love you, my friend.
I love you too.
Please continue with the wonderful work that you're doing and inspiring your friends, those close by like myself, and those who are far away. And know that you've got me as a support system, and please don't hesitate to let me know if I can help. Okay, Jodi?
Same here. Thank you so very much. This was awesome. You always do a phenomenal job, and I'm grateful and appreciative of our friendship. So thank you.
Thank you, Jodi. Jodi O'Donnell-Ames, founder of the nonprofit, ALS nonprofit Hope Loves Company, but also a motivational speaker, an inspirational speaker, and an author, and one of my friends. Be sure to reach out to her. All the information will be on my social media pages, but you can also go to the website, hopelovescompany.org. You've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, and remember, friends, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.